Now, when I go like this, which I may do once or twice through this speech, I want you to clap and make a noise. And it needs to be loud enough to be heard by the videoing guys around, to make sure that they know we've got a lively audience. Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle David Owen, je suis le directeur de Distripress. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi de vous dire enfin bienvenue à Cannes pour le 59th Distripress Congress. Dans quelques minutes, je vous présenterai la présidente de Prestalis, la formidable Anne-Marie Couderc. She hates Air France now, by the way. Just wait 1 minute. Mais d'abord, je pense et je crois, nous avons la meilleure journée de forum jamais. Je sens l'excitation dans la salle. Calmez-vous, mesdames et messieurs. On y va. Très bon. I could go on in French, but just to make it easier for everyone, I'm going to speak in English from now on. I've also got my speech written out, which is a very rare thing for me, but I'm doing it ever since I saw Ed Miliband last week, missing out portions of his speech. So I'm going to try not to do that, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Just before we start, can we put the Wi-Fi slide up, please? Just in case, here we are, you want to connect with your Wi-Fi, and please do, because we've got a real technology fest for you this morning, courtesy of our friends at Sorted Media, and I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. But if you wish to engage with the tweet wall, which we'll show in a downtime, that's the hashtag there. Please engage with it. And the details are also in your lovely bright Congress bag, courtesy of our friends at Distripress in Spain, muchas gracias, and INP in Portugal, muito obrigado. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our other sponsors, Ascendia, Dawson Media Direct, MLP, Prestalis, and Yashaman National. Now, the good news, as Tony alluded to, is that we do have a much higher attendance at Distripress this year than we had last year. It's about 20% higher, but I think it's also clear that we're not going to go back to the days where Distripress had 1,200 people attending. And I think that this will cause some quite sensible reflection on our part as we shape the congresses of the future with our new executive committee. To that end, we've added 1 or 2 questions to our questionnaire that will go out on Thursday. Just things about how you see the future of Distripress. Should we be doing it in a shorter time frame? Should we be having more forum sessions, more tailored to the supply chain, and so on? Please take the opportunity to have your say. See, this is what happens with a speech. You have to keep moving it around. I'm delighted to announce that we have chosen the venue for Distripress 2017. And for the first time since we've been doing this new bidding procedure, we had a unanimous vote. And the EC in June chose the wonderful city of Lisbon in Portugal. You're getting the hang of this. But we are going to pause before we... I would normally show you some cities that we're thinking of for 2018. But we're going to pause because we want to take stock, as I said, and we want to look carefully at the needs for the future. Because one thing as a managing director that worries me more than anything else is I'm signing contracts for 3 years in advance, and our industry, as we all know, is changing so quickly that I don't want to have that time lag. So we won't be choosing 2018 until 2016, and then we'll continue with a 2-year Congress cycle bid after that. So, to our forum day. After Madame Couderc has introduced us to the French press market, we are going to invite our old friend, Dr. Samir Husni, who I think will be pleased with my tie, and he's going to chair a roundtable looking at models of print and digital hybrid distribution. Because even though the world is looking increasingly digital, we all know that, we're not daft, we also want to know how leading publishers are managing to harness the different ways of distribution. Samuel has a great panel with him, including Diane Kenwood, editor of Women's Weekly in the UK, Franska Stoy, editor of Libelle in Holland, Matt Bean from the US of Entertainment Weekly, and Morten Wikström representing our old friends Verdensgang, VG in Norway. Now, for the first time in Distripress history, we are going to go live to the world from Cannes. Anyone, anywhere, can click on the home page, and you see it going on there now, and they will be able to follow the round table. It's a test, really, to see whether we could have hybrid attendance in the future. It's quite exciting, and I do hope that we have at least some audience from around the world. Now, after the round table, we're going to be testing the technology even further. How is that possible, you even say? Well, we're going to set up a live link with London, 11 o'clock London time, 12 midday here, and Jim Bilton of Western Marketing will be joining us to talk us through the findings of the Distripress Circulation Monitor. This is a rather ambitious survey where Jim has taken data from 70 countries and survey responses from 47 countries. Thank you to all that took part in that quite long survey. And I've seen his presentation, and I think it's very exciting, and I want to talk with our executive committee later this year about how we can develop that further. After lunch, Mr. Magazine, or should I call him Dr. Magazine, he hasn't been promoted for a long time, we'll be back with examples of new magazine launches in his normal, informative and entertaining style, before we hear from my old editor, Peter Preston, who's sat over here somewhere. Now, Peter, in my view, and those of many others, is the finest media commentator there is in the UK. He's ex-editor of The Guardian for many years, and he and I were colleagues there. And I promised you last year in Toronto, I couldn't promise, but I did say I would try and get Peter to come and join us, and thankfully he's been able to squeeze us in. So at 2:15 today, I highly recommend you come and hear Peter. The forum day is going to finish with a wonderful retail excellence roundtable chaired by Tom Fender, the retail consultant. Some of you may recall Tom from Glasgow, where he was saying, you know, you press guys, you don't know you're born. Look at the problems that cigarettes have got, alcohol's got in retail and so on. But you'll hear from the Distripress Circulation Monitor that there are problems in retail, particularly with the shrinking of the retail universe, and not just the number of retailers selling press, but also the space within each retailer. And this puts an ever higher premium on quality, excellence, and innovation. Tom will be joined by Arlene Shepherd of Gateway News in Canada, Jean-Christophe Farret of Naville in Genève, and Christine Lucas, International Director of Market Force UK. After that, our busy day will continue for some. Some of you will go to the beach, but I hope at least some of the Distripress members, and we need at least 25 companies to be quorate, will be here for the General Assembly. And we will introduce, as Tony said, the new executive committee as the highlight of that session, 4:30 here in this room. On Thursday, we will choose our EC will choose their new president and vice president, and they will be introduced to all members at the farewell lunch on Thursday. Please join us if you can. Again, I know the temptations in Cannes will be many. Tonight we have a welcome reception, which is at the Palm Beach. And you know, I've been so worried for the last few days. I've always been checking the weather because there was always the possibility of a shower coming. We hope that's gone away now, but we're still keeping our eye on it because we do have a mainly outdoor venue tonight. If you want to go to the casino afterwards, you are very welcome, but please bring ID with you. You won't get in without a passport or an ID card. And I gather the buses will run from 7:15 outside the Majestic on the opposite side of the road, and we'll have a hostess there to direct you. Or if you're further down the Croisette, it'll be where the Carlton is, the Intercontinental. And then those buses will run round and start running back at 9:30. Now, those of you with headsets, this is really important. To stop the admin of you having to leave credit cards or something, we've just trusted that you'll give these back to us. But let me just tell you that each one that does not come back to the Palais will cost us 350 euros. And we really don't want that. So please think, even if you get back to your room tonight, think, oh, I've still got that. Just bring it tomorrow, bring it to the Distripress stand, and we'll make sure that it gets back.